getting back to the third eye dimension of life. That's not a joke. How do we integrate ourselves into a society that accepts us um, in a way? We're not going to really integrate in too deeply into the system, the world at all, and not the one that we see that is upside down and backwards and flipped inside out and reversed and all that stuff. So but we shouldn't be shut out. We should be allowed to experience the life that we were supposed to live. It shouldn't be. Pardon me while this is just breathing. I don't know if you guys ever taken psilocybin mushrooms, but if it's a substantial alteration, you yawn. Sometimes you yawn a lot, and there's a specific reason that is like heavy duty. I could pull up some of it is technical when you get into the biology, like what you need. Of course, breathing is enlivening your electrical body 100%. And if you know how to do it in certain ways, that's one of the things I learned that came along with my third eye awakening. I was taught, and it wasn't when I was asleep either, it was when I was awake, receiving downloads. Also, at the same time, I was receiving downloads, and I was taught that there's I was opened up to the world of breathing in certain ways, and there's actually certain ways to breathe, trippy ways to breathe. I was doing it when I had to shovel some snow. I have a daily life that I need to maintain on top of doing astral travel and going through some kind of third eye. And I think it was a slow and gradual thing, but then there was these experiences that just into another dimension, and getting lessons and learning to where the just to be able to talk about it. You can just talk about it. And now I'm experiencing the cosmos because I'm an astrologer. um, for everybody, we are not going to know anything more until we are ready, and we are going through a an like a seasoning. But we are the ones awakening with the cosmos, is how I can explain it, because the universe, we are one with the universe, whatever that is. And I think it's just like a soul experience. It's one soul, maybe. I like to say maybe, because uh still studying myself. It's just like, I can't come up with any conclusion as Shauna here, little Oshana, but I'll get back to you. Like, where am I at now with it is just kind of what I explained to you about. Astrologically, we can now, we can tap into that clock as an organism on the planet and begin to understand things very deeply on that level. And it's all about deeper understanding, to tell you the truth. That's what I know. And sorry if this went off track. What I wanted to say, yes, is that it's not easy when you've seen now something about the world, and you've been in other dimensions, and about that also. It's two different things, because I mean, there's heaven and hell basically, and um, then on you see, like, on top of it, you're here to evolve at a higher vibrational frequency, and even at a faster rate. I don't feel that we should be experiencing any suffering here as human organisms. We are to have an amazing experience, and there's that saying that I come up with that says, "Don't um don't let your biology outgrow your soul." And now I guess maybe I'll be the only one that knows how to understand that, but the only reason why, pardon me, I am relaying this video now, this kind of content, is I was just bumped back into play by a famous philosopher, crazy person, whatever these people are, that has made history and written books. And this is Baba Ramdas. But one of his seminars and things he was talking about, and this guy lived, and he probably, I think he maybe, I don't know if he already died yet, but I just haven't really studied. I have one of his books, and it's helpful, very much so, but I heard one of his videos, and he explains exactly the third eye awakened person, and the experience that's going on there. And I tried to make this video short, but it's not easy. So I was wondering, like, okay, so because we don't mix with the world, which is it's not all there is, especially the traditional values that goes on with people and how miserable they really are. I mean, you could go ahead and try and convince us that you are not, but there is an aspect to life that is expanded, and you can be even more um, having a good time. And not that I'm perfect or anything, that everybody here is, basically kind of one of the things is you notice that the skeletal system in your body is a trap. It's an imprisonment system, and if you're not careful, it can be. You look at it and say, "Oh, so I have." Uh, if you don't know how to leave it come in and out of your body, if you're not aware of it in any way, shape, or form, which I was never until when I realized this experience that I had. And I had made some videos during that it was happening, but I was so altered, and it's an emotional time, and there's a lot of people that don't understand emotions, and we got to question those people, you know. I mean, we got to question their IQ level. Like, can we lie? Can we really rely on them, especially, because they're just kids. They're gonna be, um, they're not really kids. It's more like they are shut down by people around them. They are kids that were shut down by people around them. As far as when it comes to emotions, I don't know. Some people just have a a moon square all kinds of planets, and that shuts down emotional connection, and they cannot deal with the complexity. And it's like, well, get out of your mind a little bit. Did you know that your emotions are smarter than your mind? Your mind is a whole different thing, and your emotional system is a whole other thing. It's all hooked in, your electrical big time. And yes, your mind can generate emotions if you're not careful about if you're not careful, you can let that drive. And I think that's what's happening. And it's like, you don't let your mind, your thoughts drive your emotional life, because your mind is a non-existent apparatus when it comes. It's performing a thing in non-existential reality as far as how you experience your mind. It's not an experience in reality. It's, where is it? Psychology is not a valid science because it doesn't deal with something as solid as, like, well, there it is. Where is it? There it is. No, we don't know where thoughts come from, and where did it go, and how did it get here, and really, and Why? All it is why did you do that? Like what? The behaviors behind the thought that's there, and of course, and the whole thing. It's just really it's complex because of why would somebody hang up on somebody? Well, they couldn't handle the emotions or something, and so now there's a communication problem, and who knows what's happening. But it's like psychology is here to say, well, let's look into it, and it's interesting. It's just the mechanics that so far that we can see, um, interesting. I'm at a certain level with like I just don't want to talk about it here because, especially in the United States, because there's just too much of it. Too much of it. It'll cancel out the delicacy of the upper spectrum. It's like it's not always about people, and it's not always about the mind. Even though, yes, it is. The upper spectrum says we are one with the universe as people, and it's just one mind. So there's two languages that can go on. There really is, and there's two spellings. Thanks for listening to this. But bottom line is we need our own sanctuaries. We have rights to have a little of the same stuff like money to be able to just live comfortably because we can get disoriented and we don't care for the world and people who feel that they are more real than being cool. Like in the moment, just let me do laundry, please. Thank you. And um, is there anything better to do than force people to wear masks or to work at a place that is like, who's? I can go on forever. The third eye stuff, not blind anymore. Really, it's like money is a big question. Like who really likes that idea? Money. You're doing it for money. You don't like doing people's laundry. Something about it, man. When there's a broken machine, you can definitely fucking rack up because if it doesn't say out of order, you can make $5 extra. Somebody puts the money in there on a Sunday, you're not there, and um, no problem. It's just a world of weirdness and the suffering. That's the thing. Get back to is that when your third eye opens, you notice the unnecessary suffering, the suffering that is happening that's unnecessary is just ridiculous. It's just shocking. It's horrible. And at the same time, you see that's happening. You wouldn't see it unless you knew that there was another way. There's another answer. There's another whole other mathematic. There's a whole other a contrary. And because it is the way that this is a some kind of mirroring. It's like, well, wow, skip that idea, but I guess it's an idea somebody came up with.